Hey, how are you? I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Riser Fall to talk some Monday Night Football action. The Los Angeles Rams, LA Rams, go to Lambeau Field to take on the Packers in Green Bay. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. And I've probably said this a few times before, but it being an NFC North guy, the Lions, Minnesota, Chicago, for some odd reason, I still, even at my older age, 38 years old, I still find Green Bay to be, in a primetime game, to be magical. Monday night, it's like middle, almost to the late December here. It's going to be dark early. It's going to be cold. And I don't know why that just does it for me. It's going to be so fun in this game. And again, look, Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers, we'll see how these two compete against each other on a scale. If you were to put both guys' work up for bid, it'd be Aaron Rodgers one way. But hey, Baker Mayfield, we saw what he did last week at like a day and a half with the game plan here. He pulled out a win for the Rams. I don't think they're going to have the same luck in Green Bay tonight, but let's talk about it. Before we do that, make sure you go to the website at Team Riser Fall. When you get there, use promo code Beastie. You'll get $10 off your first month of premium services, a Fantasy Cruncher voucher that rolls over, and all the tabs and all the stuff leading up to lock, cores, the study hub, ownership percentages, all that. It's beautiful. And again, it is Monday, December 19th, so we are a few days away from Christmas. Why can't you get a few premium memberships and give them away as gifts? Well, how cool would that be? Are you in an office? What are you doing? I would hand those out. You could just write it on a little sticky note or an index card and go, here you go. I gave you a free few months of Team Riser Fall if you're into betting in DFS, or if you know a person who really stinks at this stuff, go, hey, here, just nudge them in the right direction. Go, here, I got you a premium membership for the next few months as a gift on me, because you're embarrassing me all the time when we're playing DFS or when we're doing our betting stuff. So I think that's a good move. Go to Team Riser Fall, use promo code Beastie, and then when you do, tag me in the Discord. Say, hey, Chris, I'm here, and let's all hang out, and it'll be fine and dandy. Now let's talk about football, shall we? The Rams at Green Bay, 8:15 p.m. kickoff here. Over under right now is around 39.5. And when I look at my final score, which I always share with you here, you know what? That's a little off. I think I have the over by about 4 or 5 points here, but hey, you're free and clear to do what you want. I have some notes written down. When I get in bed at night, I can't turn my mind off, right? And I'm thinking, what are some hits I want to mention in this video to the folks before I get into the player stuff? And it's nothing crazy. I mentioned in the beginning of the game, Lambeau Field in December in prime time, it's just magical. The fans just show up in droves, and it's going to be bad news for the Rams, who are from California. They play in that beautiful SoFi Stadium. It's like 75, 80 degrees. There's not a care in the world. Now they go to Green Bay, and it's going to be 10 degrees, snowing, the tundra, however you want to put it. Let's start with Baker Mayfield. I firmly believe that Baker Mayfield, he's somewhere in between. He's not as good as what happened last time they played when, on a day and a half, they flew into town on Tuesday. He had a Wednesday to practice, and then boom, Thursday, they won the game. I do believe that there's something left inside this guy to give us, or to give football here, and we'll go on from there. Green Bay, 11th overall against opposing quarterbacks. Baker, 14 grand on FanDuel, 10 grand on DK, $21 on Yahoo. I have Baker, 19-20 completions, 235 to 240 passing yards, and 3 or 4 carries, scurries, scampies, however you want to put it, for another 10 yards. And I do think Baker Mayfield throws 1 touchdown pass, nothing crazy, not going to make or break the slate, and he's not going to kill your line if you fade the guy. So Baker, we'll catch you the next time around. When we look at Aaron Rodgers, the Rams, 9th overall against opposing quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, 16 grand on FanDuel, 10-8 on DK, $24 on Yahoo. Typical Aaron Rodgers primetime game stat line, in my book at least. We've seen the story. How long has he been in the league? 10 plus. I've seen this a lot of times in my life. 19-20 completions, 220 yards, which is light for Aaron Rodgers, because I have a feeling they're going to lean on AJ and Aaron Jones and things like that. 19-20 completions, 220 yards, a few carries for 5-6 yards. He's sneaky, right? 3rd and 8. We'll see him take off and get that, go boom, put the ball out and whoop, right out of bounds here. Aaron Rodgers, I think, is available, or is accountable for 2 touchdowns in this one. When we look at the running backs, On the Rams side, the Rams are in bad shape. Holy smokes, are they in bad shape? Running backs, wide receivers. I mean, it's great. Van Jefferson looks to be their wide receiver one tonight, which is not a bad move. But Van has always been one of those like sneaky players, right? If everything's up and running, right, with Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson in a perfect world here, Van Jefferson makes for that sneaky third or fourth guy that we can just put in stress free. And maybe if he catches a 30, 40-yard bomb, we're loving it. That's not the case here tonight. All eyes are going to be on Van, Tutu, and Ben and all that. But let's talk about the running backs. Cam Akers, Green Bay 27th overall right now against opposing running backs. Cam 12 grand on FanDuel, 8-2 on DK, $17 on Yahoo, 14-15 carries, 65 to 70 yards. That would be nice. And looking at 1 or 2 receptions, 8 to 10 yards, nothing special. On the other end, the guy right next to him, Kyron Williams, 7 grand on FanDuel, 5-8 on DK, $11 on Yahoo. I think of Cam and Kyron, I would go Kyron because he literally half the cost. And again, we're going to get 6 or 7 carries out of the guy, 35 to 40 yards. And we're going to get maybe 2 or 3 receptions out of Kyron for another 15 or 20 yards. So to me, given the DVP matchup, given the price tag, I would prefer Kyron because then we can mix and match some of the Green Bay wide receivers and we are rolling. When we look at the pack and what they have in their backfield, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones, 13-5 on FanDuel, 11-2 on DK, $21 on Yahoo. Aaron Jones, 16-17 carries, 75, 80 yards, fingers crossed, 3 to 4 receptions for another 25. So we're going to get dangerously close to 100 all-purpose yards for Aaron Jones here this evening. And again, I wrote in my notes, which I always take a picture and share them with you. I wrote TD explosion here. No rhyme or reason. We've seen games in the past with Aaron Jones in Green Bay where out of nowhere Aaron Jones goes off for 3 touchdowns, right? He's got like 145 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not saying that that's going to happen tonight. That would be ridiculous of me, but I don't know why that struck me last night when I was doing my notes here. So it's got to be, it's in there somewhere. It's in my chest somewhere. So just be mindful of that. I'm going to get Aaron Jones in a lot of lineups. Let's just put it that way. On the other end, his teammate, bandmate, however you want to put it, A.J. Dillon, 11-5 on FanDuel, 6-2 on DK, and only $16 on Yahoo. Very reasonable price on Yahoo. 11-12 carries, 45 to 50 yards, 2 to 3 receptions for another 15 to 20 yards. So again, Aaron Jones very close to 100 all-purpose yards, and then A.J. Dillon not too far behind with around, what did I say, 45 to 50. Let's just call it like 70 to 75 would be very, very nice. That would be going above and beyond here what I have for A.J. Dillon, excuse me. So Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, to me, must-have combo in tonight's action. And get this, the Rams 9th overall against opposing running backs, but we've seen, sometimes, DVP and things, on paper is one thing. You got to play the game in real life, and we got to watch this sucker. And I think the Rams are going to have a tough time tonight from start to finish. When we look at the wide receivers, as I was saying, Van Jefferson, Ben Skowronek, Tutu Atwell, Brandon Powell, where are we going there? Van Jefferson, 11 grand on FanDuel, 6-8 on DK, $12 on Yahoo. To me, Van Jefferson, I'm not going to say Van Jefferson is a full fade, but Green Bay right now, 9th overall against opposing wide receivers. And the Packers have a collection of good corners, and their secondary is pretty sweet too. Jair Alexander, and again, no Cooper Kupp, no Allen Robinson, like Allen A-Rob was doing anything anyways, but is Van Jefferson ready for this wide receiver one kind of gig on short notice in Green Bay on Monday night? I don't think so. I have Van Jefferson though, 4 or 5 targets, 3 receptions, let's just say 3 or 4 receptions for around 50 yards. The move to me here is Ben Skowronek. When you look at him, 8 grand on FanDuel, 5-2 on DK, $13 on Yahoo, 5-6 targets, 3-4 receptions, around 55 to 60 yards here. And when you look at Ben, he hasn't scored a touchdown this year. I think that changes tonight. Ben will finally receive his first touchdown. And when we look at Ben and Baker Mayfield, haven't been together long. Baker and Ben, however you want to put it. It looks as if Baker heavily favors Ben Skowronek here. So who would I be, or who would we be, to just kind of fluff that off and go, no, there's nothing going on. So to me, Ben is highlighted. He is a must-have tonight. Pair them with Jones and Dillon, and we'll move on. Tutu Atwell, Brandon Powell. When you look at Tutu, 5-6 targets, 3-4 receptions, 45 to 50 yards. We know what this kid is about. Everyone was excited when he came out of the draft. Hasn't done much, but get this. He's $6,000 on FanDuel, 4-4 on DK, only $13 on Yahoo, and Tutu averaging 21.5 yards a reception. So hey, if he's got 3 or 4 receptions, you times that by 20, so 4 times 20, that's 80. Will he have 80 yards? But no, the math checks out. The process is there in a weird DFS kind of Monday morning way. When we look at the Green Bay Packers wide receivers, now, this is where it gets interesting because Christian Watson, right? $13,000 on FanDuel, 8 on DK, $26 on Yahoo. Christian Watson, we've seen this kid. It's just been a joy. Early in the season, he was struggling. They pulled him out. Aaron Rodgers made all them calls where if you're not going to catch the ball, you're not going to be on the field. We need to do what we need to do, and we need to execute, and we need more reps from some more wide receivers. Well, hey, Christian Watson kind of turned it on, and now we are rolling. The Rams, 29th overall against opposing wide receivers here. When you look at Watson, averaging about 16 yards a reception. And what else can I say about Watson? 6-7 targets, 4-5 receptions, 55 yards, and a touchdown reception. First one of the year. Let's just call it like it is. A nice anytime touchdown bet with Ben Skronek. That would make a nice 1-2 punch here, and some over yardage stuff with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Alan Lazard, very much in play. He's $10,000 on FanDuel, 7-6 on DK, and $17 on Yahoo. He's averaging 13.8 yards a pop, 6-7 targets, 3-4 receptions, around 50 yards. So him, Lazard and Watson, very much in play here tonight in terms of my DFS lines. Randall Cobb, Romeo Doubs, where are we going here? I love all 4 of these Green Bay Packers wide receivers because the Rams, as I said, 29th overall against opposing wide receivers here. Randall Cobb, 4-5 targets, 3-4 receptions, 30 yards. And we could see a case here where it's happened before, where out of the blue, that connection between Aaron Rodgers and Randall Cobb, that veteran presence here, Randall Cobb could get like 7-8 targets at halftime, catch 6 or 7 passes by halftime, all that like kind of dinking and dunking stuff, but that adds up, especially on a PPR kind of scoring site like DraftKings. So Randall Cobb, again, very much in play. Romeo, 6-5 on FanDuel, 6-8 on DK, and he's $15 on Yahoo here. And when you look at Romeo, hasn't played. He started off hot. I think he's got 3 total touchdowns this season, but he was out of the lineup hurt, and that's okay. But when we look at the wide receivers here, it's all about Watson and Lazard with a little bit of teasing of Cobb and Romeo. When we look at the tight ends, it's Tyler Higbee, it's Robert Tonyan, and that is it. Tyler Higbee, 5-6 targets, 4-5 receptions, around 40 yards. When we look at Tonyan here, 3-4 targets, 3-4 receptions, 25 yards. Higbee, 7-5 on FanDuel, 6-4 on DK, only $10 on Yahoo. And Rob Ton here, 6-5 on FanDuel, 5-4 on DK, $10, the bare minimum on Yahoo. To me, personally, I don't see much action from both tight ends, but again, for some odd reason, I love the idea of using Higbee and Robert Tonyan in a few lines just in case, MVP captain spot and vice versa. And as I said, Higbee, 4-5 receptions, 40 yards. Robert Tonyan, 3-4 receptions for 25 to 30 yards. So now we're talking. We're getting in Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, Watson, a little bit of Ben Skronek, and we can mix and match both tight ends. The kickers here, nothing crazy. I will say the Rams give up a ton of points to opposing kickers. So Mason Crosby very much in play at home. Mason, $8,000 on FanDuel, 4-2 on DK. When we come to the DSTs here, I have the final score. I have the Green Bay Packers. I'm just going to mention this in passing briefly before we hammer it home at the end of the video. I have Green Bay to win this one around 24-17. And when we look at the Rams, 8-5 on FanDuel, 3-4 on DK, $11 on Yahoo, 2-3 sacks, maybe a fumble recovery. I'm not saying it's going to be Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon, but I do believe the Rams punch a ball out somewhere down the line. Is it Jalen Ramsey? Is it something in the secondary or Ernest Jones, one of their linebackers that punches the ball out? They recover, and hey, we can move on. On the Packers side of things, $9,000 on FanDuel, $5,000 on DK, $14 on Yahoo. Packers, 2-3 sacks. I have a pair of interceptions here for the Green Bay Packers. The wheels fall off Baker in Green Bay. Does he become a pumpkin again? I hate to say that because I want to treat everybody the same with kindness and respect here, but Baker, I just don't see it happening here for him tonight in Lambeau Field. Couple betting trends, and we will get the heck out of here. The Rams, 13-3-1 against the spread. Their last 17 17 games in December. Had to go all the way back to last December and the December before that. Green Bay 1-4 against the spread. Their last 5 games at home. The under is 5-1 in the Rams' last 6 games on the road, and the over 4-0 Green Bay's last 4 games overall. So before we get out of here, I have the Green Bay Packers to win this one at home on primetime. Not much going on for both of these teams in terms of playoff action. So hey, it's kind of just like a respect thing. This is my job, and we're going to do what we can here. Green Bay Packers win this one 24-17 on the strength of Aaron Jones, Christian Watson, maybe even a little bit of Robert Tonyan. So hey, if you like what you see, subscribe here, like the video, leave a comment. That would do wonders for the algorithm and the bumping up of things. I love it so much, and I will see you again for Thursday Night Football. And again, this coming weekend is Christmas here, and we get all the game. The main slate is on Saturday, and we get a fun back-to-back triple header on Sunday, which is actual Christmas. So hang around. We're going to be diving deep and getting into a lot of content here this week. See you later. Bye. Green Bay wins 24-17. See ya.